Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night, wherever you are. My name is Matt, and I'm here with my co-host Wasim. Welcome to a new DC live stream. Wasim, how are you, my friend?
Good, mate. Good. You got it right this time. Well done.
Yeah, nailed the intro, nailed it.
Nailed it. Well done, mate. Yes, so it's been a big week.
Huge week. We had the FOMC meeting. We had the CPI increase in Australia. Lots happening. So hopefully the guys watching today, you get a lot out of our news, Twitter updates, adoption highlights. And best of all, Bitcoin and the market is pumping. So I'm assuming everyone is very, very happy.
Yeah, Bitcoin's been holding up this week, hasn't it?
It's been doing very well. We're going to talk about certain price targets. I think we still got maybe a little bit more upside, which would be great. And then maybe this could be just a bit of a dead cat bounce in the bear market, get everyone back into the market, get everyone excited, and then maybe in a couple of weeks or months we might see some more red.
More pain, right? I agree. We're definitely not out of the red yet. We're still in danger territory, but at the same time, we're still in generational buying territory, I believe. Wouldn't you agree?
I do believe so. Yeah, every time the bear market is around, it's a generational buy. 1 in 4 year best buying opportunity. So things are looking pretty good. Alrighty, let's kick things off with the news highlight. Wasim, take it away.
Alrighty, first up, we've got the Fed has raised interest rates by another 75 basis points, and this is the fourth time in 5 months that they've raised it from almost 0 to 2.25 now. So obviously they are trying to curb inflation, although the US government is still not won't admit that they are in a recession and won't admit that inflation is out of control. However, this new rate hike will affect the average everyday person, including things like car loans, credit cards. Like if you've got a $5,000 credit card and you're paying a minimum repayment on that, that's going to be around $880 extra in repayments just to pay that off. So definitely the people will feel the pain. And it's just another way that they're trying to curb inflation, which is something that they've caused themselves, which again, they won't admit to it. So it always goes back to what we always say. This is a great time to be dollar cost averaging into crypto, to your favorite projects, your favorite cryptocurrency, because we are definitely here for the long haul. Moving on, China's property sales are set to plunge 30%. And that is worse than what it plunged back in 2008 at the global financial crisis. Back then, the purchase rates in China, or the property sales, I should say, in China went down by 20%. China's facing a lot of problems right now with a lot of people actually, protesting and not paying their mortgage repayments, or people freezing their mortgages until their properties actually get sold. You see, in China, a lot of property sales are sold off the plans, and a lot of developers are not able to, because they're facing financial problems, they're not able to finish this development, which means that the Chinese people or the purchaser is not able to get their finished product. So the finished products has gone down, has declined. Has declined over the past year or so. So people are now stopping to pay their repayments. Governments are talking about supporting developers and supporting the borrowers by doing some quantitative easing, or just some physical support by giving free money out. So again, this is it's a rocky road over there in China. It's quite risky in the Chinese property market. And if Chinese property market does have a tumble, then the rest of the Chinese economy will also tumble. And if we all know China is one of the world's largest economies, and if they start having issues, the rest of the world is also going to have more issues than what we have right now. So definitely something you want to keep your eye out on and keep a very close watch to what's happening in China and their property. Next up, we have the Australian inflation rates have come out to be at 6.1%, or what they're letting us know about anyway, 6.1%, which has been the fastest growth in over 21 years since the late 1990s. So this is something that we see here in Australia with inflation going up almost on a weekly basis. Petrol prices have gone up by about 13.1%, and this has caused a lot of other things to go up. New house prices have gone up by 9%, which is causing the Australian market to really struggle. Now, Australia has traditionally lagged behind the rest of the world. Like, we're seeing 6.1% right now. I think it was New Zealand saw something like 9%, or 8%, something 8%. We're seeing 9% in America, 9% in the UK. We usually do lag behind other economies. So, what the government is saying, what they're saying now is we're probably going to have inflation to at least, or the inflation won't peak until the end of this year. So we're definitely in for for a lot more blood in the streets, a lot more turbulence, a lot more pain for the average person before this turns around. So another thing to keep an eye on, and another reason that we believe that we should really be looking at other ways where the monetary, the fiscal policies are not managed by those who think they know what's best for us. Moving on to the next one. What do we have? The next one that we've got is GDP fell by 0.9% for the second quarter. So second straight decline in GDP over in America, which is a very strong signal for recession. Even though Americans still won't admit they are in a recession, and technically speaking, a recession has to be 3 quarters in a row of declined GDP. So technically, when we're still not in a recession, however, with the inflation, rises in interest rates as well as the decline in GDP, we're definitely heading into some very rough territory. The National Bureau of Economic Research declares that a recession and expansion, but they will not make. They declared that we're. Let me rephrase that. So the National Bureau of Economic Research declares recessions and expansions, and they won't make a judgment right now because we still haven't reached those 3 consecutive quarters in decline, and so they're putting their head in the sand right now. They're not really facing the music, and it's going to be just more blood and more pain for people in the street before we start to see these people in power really start facing the music and admitting to what's happening out there. Last but not least, in the news highlights, commodity experts suggest that Bitcoin can outperform or could outperform the market in H2 2022. So in the second half of the year, these experts are saying that Bitcoin has for the past 10 to 13 years really outperformed the market in everything that it's done, regardless of the volatility, the highs and lows in the bear markets. Overall, Bitcoin has outperformed the market, and they're expecting the same thing to happen in the second quarter of this year. While other commodities struggle to gain back to where they were, they're expecting that Bitcoin is going to surge further than the market, which is more reason why we keep telling people that you need to put in your assets in a safe haven like Bitcoin. And Matt is going to be speaking about the market today and letting us how Bitcoin has been performing today. So stay tuned and see how we're going to see the update from Matt. Over to you, Matty, with the Twitter highlights.
Thank you, Wasim. Alrighty, guys. So first tweet we have today is from Ben Armstrong or BitBoy Crypto. I believe rates will continue to go up until it reaches 3.5 to 4% in December FOMC meeting. I think we will get a return of quantitative easing. End of 2023, early 24, we will have some type of crisis that will reverse the interest rates. Think about how this bodes for Bitcoin. So we've definitely had an increase in interest rates, and it's obviously been quite rapid, with the last two being 0.75%. And this is technically quantitative tightening because we printed so much cash during the pandemic. Every country basically did it, but the US did it even more. And then obviously this is going to prolong the bear market because of all this cash flow that we have. We obviously need to increase interest rates so the government can take back a lot of the money that they gave, which kind of defeats the purpose of why they gave it away in the first place. But yeah, things will be interesting to see what happens with America moving forward. Moving on to Altcoin Daily, do you save in Bitcoin? So basically, it's a great time to be, dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin, but instead of maybe putting money into a savings account, why not put it into Bitcoin? Because we all know that no matter what point you purchase Bitcoin, you will at least break even after 4 years. And if you hold it for a time thereafter, you will see great returns during the bull market where, even in the last bull market, if you bought it at the 2017-18 highs of 20,000, you still would have 3.5x your money on this bull run if you obviously picked the top. So it's a great way to save, and you're not going to get any better interest returned in any bank account that I know that offers, 2x returned at least. Alrighty, we got Slavic. Many people will panic, sell their Bitcoin only to FOMO back in at higher prices. Don't be like them. So this makes me think of Warren Buffett's, famous quote: "Be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy." So market psychology is a funny thing. We talk about that inside one of our courses at Breakout Solutions, and you really need to sometimes counter trade your emotions. What's happening in the market? So a good example was when the Ukrainian-Russian war was announced, we had a big drop in all markets and then a quick recovery because people obviously panic sold thinking, hey, there's going to be a big sell-off. And there was people waiting for news like this to grab up all that liquidity of cheap stocks, cheap crypto. And we saw a pretty big pump the following week after sort of the news. So whenever you hear bad news or things like that, you should always try and think opposite of what's what's happening in the market, because that's exactly what the whales do. They think differently to what us retail investors are. And if you want to make some profit in the crypto sphere, you definitely need to switch your thinking. Moving on over to the Coin Bureau guy. Tell a lie enough times and eventually everyone will believe you. Obviously, a little bit of a funny meme. Reported inflation by Powell over here, and then actual inflation, taking a bit of a stab at him. But look, at the end of the day, governments usually downplay inflation data and actually, maybe a little bit more than what they are. And we only find that out later down the track. I saw a news clip the other day about one of the Australian financial ministers saying, we're not going to be increasing interest rates. This was like 6 to 12 months ago. They clipped that. They put it on TV the other day, obviously, with interest rates going up. So, it's really obvious what's happening in the society right now. We're all, we're all being strangled by the current financial system, and we want to help people, trying to escape this financial matrix, because the current system, since we remove the backing of the US dollar or the peg to gold, we've just seen the prices of everything go up, and unfortunately wage growth has not followed. So families and individuals are struggling out there, and it's not a good thing to see. Lastly, we have Plan B. Bitcoin is obviously linked to stock markets and all things of value because fiat currencies are deflated. Crucial difference is that Bitcoin grows much faster because it is scarcer. In the same time period, the S&P 500 went from $1,000 to $4,000, so that's a 4x, and BTC went from $2 to 20K. So look, I'm a firm believer that you should have a diverse portfolio of like stocks that have, small growth, but because they are also less volatile, and have a small percentage of your assets in cryptocurrencies. Because yes, they are volatile. They can get you great rewards, but if you put too much in there and you pick the wrong time, like if you got in this bull market, you're probably down right now. Maybe you're kicking yourself that you overexposed yourself. Now that we're in a recession, you're probably selling some of those tokens or coins at a loss. And unfortunately, that's just how things are. So we've been preaching for the last however long we've been doing this DC live stream that it's important to dollar cost average. We told you that we were in the bear market months ago, and hopefully you've been taking advantage of these low prices. Yes, I still think that we are going to go low. I think this is a little bit of a dead cat bounce, but at the end of the day, I'd rather be wrong and rich than right and obviously see us come down another leg. So I've still been dollar cost averaging. Obviously, I got buy orders well below 20,000, but we can only hope that we get there to get some cheap Bitcoin. Alrighty, that is it for the Twitter highlights. I'll bring my friend Wasim back to talk about adoption, and Wasim, take it away.
Thank you, Matty. Thank you. Okay, guys. So, look, as always, making sure that we understand what the adoption was, how the adoption is going with crypto around the world. gives us an understanding of, what is happening under the waters and what's to come. And the first one that we're looking at today is the crypto ATMs. And it is announced in the new data that crypto ATMs market value is going to go up to about $500 million, $472 million in the next 5 years. Now, crypto ATMs right now are valued around $46 million. And what they're saying is the amount of ATMs that have been installed and the amount of ATMs being rolled out around the world, if the current growth keeps happening, it keeps going the way it is, we are going to reach a $500 million market for just crypto ATMs. In America on its own, they have about 88% of the world crypto ATMs. Canada is the second country behind, who has the second highest number of ATMs around the world. And I don't have the number off the top of my head, so I can't tell you what that is. But this is just showing that, the more that people start turning to crypto and using cards like this, these crypto debit cards and crypto cards and whatnot, more and more people are going to be able to go use their cards to withdraw cash and whatnot using these ATMs. So, or buy crypto using ATMs. So this is very, very bullish news, because it's showing that, regardless of the recession, people are still adopting and looking to get into more and more crypto. And what you got to already understand is, it's really a small percentage of the world population that are in crypto. So we are still so early and so young in this industry that all that you have to do is just be involved, and you're set in the right place and the right time for when this industry explodes and takes over the world. Moving on, the next one is looking at one of Switzerland's oldest business travel agencies now accepts cryptocurrencies. So Swiss travel agency, and I hope I say this right, Kioni Business Travel, which was founded in 1906. So that makes it about almost 115, 116 years old. And what they've started doing, they've partnered up with BitPay, which is one of the world's largest cryptocurrency payment gateway. And they've partnered with them to allow their customers to be able to pay using Doge, Shiba Inu, BTC, Ethereum, Litecoin, and a few other cryptocurrencies that you can use using BitPay. This is just showing that regardless of what's happening in the market right now, crypto winter, more and more businesses understand how important it is for them to offer their customers multiple payment methods, because this is part of their growth strategy, part of their marketing strategy. I know myself, if a company, if I can buy things using crypto, and I did a video on this on TikTok on the weekend where I use crypto for a lot of the things, everyday things today. So more and more companies are starting to see that there is a need for this, and they're starting to open up for more customers to be able to transact with them using cryptocurrencies. It is starting to get a little bit of old news, because every single week we get on here and we find out more and more companies accepting crypto payments. The third one is UPenn Wharton School now offers online. There it is. Yeah. So UPenn Wharton School rolls out an online certificate course on business in the metaverse. Now, this is an Ivy League business. So it's a high-end business school. And what they've done now, they've created a 6-week program that anybody can join. It costs $4,500, and you can do a 6-week course, which is about 8 to 10 hours worth of studying a week, and learn about how to have a business in the metaverse. They speak about, in this article, they speak about that they see that the metaverse is going to be worth, what do they say? Something like, I can't remember how many trillions of dollars now. It skips me. But if you just scroll down a little bit, Matt, they talk about, I missed it. Oh, yeah, there it is. $5 billion or $13 trillion market. There it is, $13 trillion market by 2030. So they're expecting the metaverse and the worth of the metaverse, the amount of business that gets done on the metaverse in the next 8 years to be worth $13 trillion. So they're investing in educating entrepreneurs and business people on how to operate businesses in the metaverse. It's not the first time they've done this. They also had a course last year, which was economics of blockchain and digital assets. They have a free introductory course for people to learn about blockchain. So more and more colleges and universities are now looking and understanding that they need to have these courses because this is what people are looking for. So it's a great way for people to really get educated and understand about this, which is what we do here at Breakout Solution. We focus on education because we believe that each and every one of us needs to understand this space to be able to profit and get the maximum return out of it. Next one, we've got Ukrainian minister reiterates that crypto is an essential tool in the country's defense. So for those of you that don't know, since the war broke out in Europe between Russia and Ukraine, both countries have turned to crypto in a big way. And Ukraine has had a huge amount of donations come to them from all around the world using cryptocurrencies. Now, you got to think about it this way. If you can send someone on the other side of the world, you can send them your crypto or send them a donation or help them out one way or another, and they can get it in lightning speed. They can get it almost in minutes, in less than 10 minutes. They have those funds. Why would you use the traditional financial tools, which take 3 to 5 days? And this is what Ukraine has done. They keep pleading out to people to donate money to them, to help them out, and more people donating money to them using cryptocurrencies. And you guys know from the other news that we've spoken about, Russia also is turning to cryptocurrency to allow people to pay for their goods and services because they have been sanctioned. Last but not least, Brazil's largest investment broker is now offering Bitcoin trading in August. So this is the largest trading exchange in Brazil, and they're called XP Inc. They have very good, very fast technology. They've partnered up with NASDAQ to bring in cryptocurrency trading. So they said they'll bring in Bitcoin and one other crypto. It doesn't say which one. But basically, you won't be able to withdraw or deposit Bitcoin or crypto into the exchange at the moment. But basically, you buy it. It's a self-custody wallet, apparently, and they put it in cold storage for you. So what they said is a lot of their competition, such as Nubank, what was the other one? BTG and Itaú Unibanco have all started offering cryptocurrency services to their customers. So these guys are doing a lot of research. The big banks over there now go hard and fast into the cryptocurrency space. So XP decided that they need to get into this, and now they're also looking at offering crypto services to their clients. Now, I've said this before, we've got Brazil, we've got Mexico, both adopting crypto in a really big ways. A lot of corporations in those countries are adopting them. A lot of their governments are talking about it. I honestly believe it's only a matter of time before one of these two countries turns around and adopts Bitcoin as legal tender. And when that happens, that would be one of the first large country to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender. And that's just another domino falling in the stack that we're talking about before the rest of the world starts to follow suit. So always good news and adoption. It's my favorite segment of the live stream. And that's it for me, guys. Back to you, Matty.
Thank you, Wasim. Alrighty, we're going to go into market analysis. We've been blessed with a little bit of a swing value pattern as we've sort of gone live. Alrighty, so if we just quickly zoom out and we see, oh, geez, I've got too many lines on my chart. Let me just remove all these things for you guys. Alrighty, so Bitcoin has, done really well since we created that 17,600 low, over a month ago now. We've been slowly sort of grinding up. Right now, we are testing the previous high. So we've done what's called a swing value pattern where we look to break out from the previous high. A lot of people tend to FOMO long here if they are traders, and then you have a lot of liquidity built up from all these people going long, and we have lots of shorters just waiting here, anticipating for all this liquidity, and then we tend to pull the market back down. So I think we will probably see a bit of a pullback in the next day or so, where I expect us to possibly come back down to. So we've got a few numbers, probably around 23,000 would be where I'm kind of looking at for the bullish momentum to continue. That would align with the exponential moving average of the 4-hour time frame to sort of hit the price action here and then possibly continue. That's where I see the bullish scenario. A bearish scenario would be for us to come back down, lose the 618, which is currently at $22,000. If we tend to be able, if we close the 4-hour candle below that, I think we will come back down to retest the value area low of the range around about 19,600. So things are kind of looking good right now, but in the short term, I think we are set for a bit of a pullback. We've had such an expansive move over the last week or so. We basically gone non-stop from 20,800 to where we are now. So that's a pretty big increase of 18%. So I expect a little bit of a pullback. If we tend to be able to break out from where we currently are, so when we have a bit of a pullback and if we continue, I don't see any resistance till about 26, 27,000. So basically, if the bullishness is to continue, look for a price range around here before like a very decent correction, because I feel like this is the optimal move that a lot of whales would like us to think that we're exiting the bull market. People are going to sort of come back in, get excited. Once again, we get that euphoria, and then they'll, turn this over on us. All right, let's look at a couple of fundamentals. So we can see that the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index is at 39. Man, I don't even remember the last time that I saw numbers above 30. It feels like it was so long ago. Every time we were doing the DC live stream over the last month or so, we were, around 10, 11. So it's good to see that, the fear is subsiding. We are getting into sort of close to greedy territory once we hit sort of the 54 number. But I think people are still those in the market, retail investors that have been around for a while, they're not sort of silly. They know that this is probably a dead cat bounce. We'll get people sort of jumping back in, get that FOMO back in before we roll over. Moving on to the percentage balance on all exchange, we can see that Bitcoin supply is continuously dropping. People are taking Bitcoin off exchanges, putting them in their hard wallet, or just they feel like they know that this is a long-term play. What we want to see is this line continuously come down. That's a good thing for us. When the line sort of starts reversing, that's when we know we're in a bull market. This is the time that we start thinking about, obviously, taking profits away from the table, because that's what the smart players do. Moving on to the large whale wallets, so we can see them slightly accumulating since we've sort of had a bit of a bottom. This indicates that it may not be a macro, it might not be the bottom, but it's definitely a macro bottom. So people are obviously accumulating this time. This pattern right here is called a Wyckoff accumulation pattern. So you can definitely Google that if you want to know more about the Wyckoff distribution and accumulation pattern. But basically, this has formed a bit of a triple bottom, which is a good indication for a short-term bottom. If I go back to the Bitcoin chart and we go back to 2019, we saw Bitcoin, come back here before obviously its corrective phase. Now, I believe that we would have had this corrective phase even if we didn't have the COVID outbreak. We probably wouldn't have come as low, honestly. But we could see Bitcoin pump up to about 50K, like what we did back here, where we came back to the golden pocket, as you can see, the 618 fib retracement. So if Bitcoin was to do something similar to the previous bull run, we could even see Bitcoin come up to 50K thereabouts before sort of rolling over, coming back lower, freaking everyone out, and then starting the bull run. But for now, things are looking very good. I can sense some euphoria in a lot of the chats that I'm in, so this is only a good thing in the short term. Alrighty, moving along on the Nupal, we've seen a nice V-shaped recovery, which is always a good start when we are exiting the bear markets. We can see the previous 3 bear markets showing a nice V-shaped recovery. So this is a good start. We're into the orange area, which basically means that some people that did purchase below 20,000 are now in profit. This is what the net unrealized profit graph shows. So like I said, I did have a lot of graphs that I wanted to show today, but they're basically all showing the same, that we are close to a bottom, if not had the bottom. So this is a good sign, especially moving forward. This is one of the other indicators, the MVRZ score. So we can see that the green band down here is the perfect time to purchase Bitcoin. It basically signals the bottom of the bear market. So we can see back here, we've now started trending back out of the green zone. A lot of people probably think that we are out of a bear market. Look, I totally hope so. But like I said, I still think that the current economic climate worldwide, until we see the Ukraine-Russia war actually finish, things are still going to be shaky for, 6 to 12 months. Moving on, the reserve risk, you can see once again a bit of a V-shaped recovery, which is great. Buying in the green is a lot better. And then obviously selling in the red when we're close to the top of the market. Right now is an optimal time to buy. We've been saying that for a few weeks, not financial advice, but things are looking quite good. And lastly, all stable reserves on exchanges. We can see that the number of stable coins has dropped, meaning people have been purchasing crypto and especially Bitcoin during this time. So one other indicator that we tend to look at when sort of signaling the bottom or close to the bottom. No one can basically predict the bottom. You can only sort of estimate. That's why dollar cost averaging and having buy orders set at certain price ranges well below gives you an average buy price if we do come lower. So things are kind of looking pretty good. That's it for the fundamental update. I'm going to bring Wasim back in. We've got a couple of updates for you guys. We've got the Brisbane Roadshow this weekend, which myself, Wasim, and Michael are going to be attending. If you happen to live in Queensland and you are looking for something to do this weekend, feel free to come. Not too sure if we still have any free tickets, but you can see the website just below us, AussieCryptoRoadshow.com. The first 20 tickets are free. Use the code BREAK100. I'm not too sure. Do you know if there are any free tickets left, Wasim?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I haven't checked, but you guys can give it a go. Otherwise, tickets are only I think $11 or $12. So it's quite affordable, unless obviously you want to come to the dinner and have dinner with us. They're $200 a ticket for the VIP dinner. But we would love if anybody's in Brisbane or surrounds Gold Coast, if you're an hour drive away from Brisbane or whatever, it's a great opportunity to come and learn about crypto, get involved in the community. More of these things will be happening over and over, and we're quite deeply involved in this. So we'd love to meet any of our clients, prospective clients, or people who just want to get to know us and want to learn more about crypto. It's going to be an amazing day, and we're really, really looking forward to being there.
Awesome. Well said. Well, that's it for us, guys. Thank you for watching another DC live stream. We'll be back next week on Tuesday. Apart from that, enjoy your weekend. Stay safe out there and continue dollar cost averaging.
Peace out, guys. Have a great weekend.
Bye.